if we recall our previous session, then we discussed three main topics. One is what is the change in natural frequency if we consider spring mass. So that we have proved using energy approach that natural frequency of system decreases if you consider spring mass, right? Then second point we discuss about there is no role of initial condition with how much initial velocity or displacement we are giving to system, but natural frequency of system that remains constant. So that is what we proved by some basic physics. And the third topic is if instead of one spring multiple springs are connected, whether they connect in series connection or in parallel connection, then what is the value of effective stiffness due to this combination of spring element? That is what we discuss, right? Now, today we are starting with some system where we are having more than one spring and mass element, but still system are single degree of freedom. So I'm starting with one basic system. We are taking one linear spring mass system. So today we'll be discussing about single degree of freedom system with more than one spring and mass, right? So let us first of all assume one linear horizontal spring mass system. So I consider we have one rack. We assume we have one rack. That rack is connected to one horizontal coil spring, and another end of spring is fixed, right? And we consider guideways in which this rack will slide, right? So here mass of rack is m and of spring is suppose k. This is what given. Now this is one spring mass system. Now let us consider one gear or pinion we can say. So we consider we have one pinion. So this is one pinion. On entire periphery we have teeth, involute teeth. And now this pinion is connected to one coil spring. So it's a torsional spring. So this system, this this pinion that is having mass moment of inertia I, and the coil spring or the torsion spring which is used to control position or for restoration of this pinion, that is having stiffness Kt, torsional stiffness Kt, right? So if you look, we have here two systems. One is linear spring mass and second is torsional rotor system, right? But still this combination is single degree of freedom system. How? Let's see. Suppose we consider that This is the mean position, initial mean position. So I call this mean position of this combined system, right? Where theta is equal to 0. Now what we are doing, we are giving some angle to this pinion. Let me call, I am giving rotation to this pinion, initial angle theta. So from this position, we are rotating this pinion by angle theta in counterclockwise direction, right? So due to this rotation, what happened? This rack will slide by distance x, right? So right now, if you see, two coordinates are used, theta for indication of rotation of this pinion, and x is a linear coordinate to represent displacement of this rack, right? But as we discussed earlier, degree of freedom means number of independent coordinates required to define motion or state of any body, right? So right now if you look, two coordinates are used. One is theta, angular coordinate, and second is x, linear coordinate. But these both are linked. And as per degree of freedom, we require independent coordinates. But this x and theta, they are dependent coordinates. How? Let's see. For example, suppose I consider pitch circle diameter of this
સર
pinion.
હેલો સર
Yes.
સર છેલ્લી 2 મિનિટનું પાછું રિપીટ કરો ને જરા મારામાં આખું અટકી ગયું હતું.
Okay, okay. See, we have considered two different systems. One is linear spring mass system, where I consider this mass is nothing but rack. So rack is connected to spring, and one another end of spring is connected to fixed end. So this is linear spring mass system, right? Now this rack is meshed with one pinion. The pinion is having mass moment of inertia I, and this pinion is connected to one coil spring or torsion spring whose stiffness is Kt, right? So here we have two systems, one linear spring mass system and this second system that work as torsion rotor system, right? So two systems are there. Now if we consider rotation of this pinion, theta rotation of this pinion, then pinion is meshed with this mass or this rack. So due to the theta rotation of this pinion, this rack will slide by distance x, right? So here two coordinates are used. One is theta coordinate, which is used to indicate movement of pinion, and second coordinate, linear coordinate, is x to represent movement of rack, right? So two coordinates are used, but as per the definition of definition of degree of freedom, you require number of independent coordinates to define motion, right? So here you can see theta and x, these are the two coordinates, but this theta and x, they are dependent coordinates. That's why this is called as single degree of freedom. Though here we are having two coordinates, theta and x, but theta and x both are dependent coordinates. Now how? Let's see. So if you consider radius of that radius of this pinion as capital R, so this is radius of pinion capital R. Now look, if we give theta angle, right? If we give theta angle, then how much will be the x? It's a simple equation. If I give notation, center of pinion, if I define as O, this end mean position, initial mean position, then on periphery, I'm defining A. Now, as I give rotation theta, then this A will shift to new position A dash, right? So, due to this, what is the length of R, A dash? So that we can easily find out by theta angle is equals to arc upon Radius is r, right? So we can say a dash is nothing but r theta. Fine, is it clear? Now a dash, that is this movement of point A to A dash. So due to this movement, what happens? This rect will also move by same distance. So that A dash is nothing but x, right? So in this way, x is linked with theta through radius. So that's why we have two coordinates, but both the coordinates, they are dependent coordinates to r. So that's why this system is called as single degree of freedom. Otherwise, we are having two coordinates, theta and x. So this can be called as two degree of freedom system. But as both are dependent, that's why it is called as single degree of freedom system. Right? Now, this is the relation between x and r, x and theta. Now let us try to find out mutual frequency of this entire system. So as I told you, we are giving theta angle in anti-clockwise direction. Then what in this direction, in anti-clockwise direction, will be having inertial torque, which I indicate by I theta double dot. I is mass moment of inertia of this pinion, right? Now, at the same time, this pinion is connected to one coil spring. So this coil spring will not allow this. So that will produce opposite torque, which is Kt into theta. So this is opposite torque, Kt into theta, right? So this is opposite torque, Kt theta. Now let us try to solve this by so here we have I theta double dot and this is Kt theta. At the same time, if I consider rotation of this pinion in anti-clockwise direction, then movement of this mass is towards left, the direction which is shown by this arrow x, right? So in this direction, this mass of rect, that will give inertial acceleration force, that is mx double dot, right? At the same time, if you are pulling this mass towards left, then the spring will oppose this. So in this direction, spring will give force kx, right? So this is what we have seen so far. So this is what I have shown here, free body diagram, right? So this is free body diagram, right? Now let me write or let me solve this through energy approach, because whenever you get this type of complicated system, it is better to go for energy approach. Using energy approach, we can easily solve this type of system where two masses and two springs are used, or more than one spring mass system is connected, but still system is single degree of freedom, right? So we are going for energy approach for this problem. So as per energy approach, we need to find out kinetic energy and potential energy of this entire system. So let me write first of all kinetic energy. So kinetic energy of system is equals to kinetic energy of this rotating system. So I write here kinetic energy of rotating system suffix r plus kinetic energy of this linear spring mass system. So kinetic energy of linear system, right? Now we can write here what is kinetic energy of this rotating system. It's a 1/2 I theta dot square, right? Plus kinetic energy of this linear spring mass system, that is 1/2 m x dot square right? So this is kinetic energy. Now to solve this problem, you need to convert this entire equation into single coordinate system. You need to write either this kinetic energy equation in theta coordinate or in x coordinate. You can use any coordinate, right? So what I'm doing, I'm writing this equation in terms of theta. So the conversion is given here. So x is equal to r theta. So what will be the x dot? I can say x dot means velocity, linear velocity is equal to r theta dot, right? Is it fine? Because if you recall a basic equation, v is equal to r omega, which you learned in your basic kinematics. So this is nothing but same equation. X dot is nothing but velocity, r is radius, and theta dot is nothing but omega, right? So same I am writing here. So let me write now this entire equation into theta coordinate. So this first remain as it is plus 1/2 m. Now x dot. So x dot is written as r theta dot. R theta dot whole square. So now this is entirely in theta coordinate. So now if I take 1/2 common, theta square common, then final equation is I plus mr theta dot square, and here we have mr square because square of r. So I plus mr square theta square. This is what the kinetic energy of this entire system, right? Now, next we need to write potential energy of system. So next is potential energy. Potential energy. So potential energy is again split into two parts. Potential energy of rotary system and potential energy of linear system. So let us write now potential energy of rotary system. So what is potential energy? I need to consider now kt theta, right? So potential energy of rotary system is 1/2 kt theta square, right? And potential energy of now linear system means this is our linear system. Then potential energy of linear system is 1/2 k x square, right? Now again we need to write this entire potential energy either in theta or in x. Now as I have written this kinetic energy equation, let me call this star, one star. I have written this kinetic energy equation in theta coordinate, so I need to also write potential energy into theta coordinate. So let us do that. So 1/2 kt theta square is as it is plus 1/2. Now k x is replaced by r theta. So x is replaced by r theta whole square, right? Now in both the equations, see now the potential energy is equal to, if you look here, this kt, this theta square, and 1/2 is common in both the equations. So 1/2 kt plus kr square, right, into theta square. So this is, we can say, equation of potential energy for entire system. I call this equation double star, right? Now next we got kinetic energy equation and potential energy equation for entire system. So let us apply now energy approach. So energy approach is kinetic energy plus potential energy is equal to constant, right? So now equation of kinetic energy means one star equation. So let me write here 1/2 I plus mr square theta dot square plus now potential energy equation 1/2 kT plus kr square theta square is equal to constant, right? Now what we do next, we differentiate this entire equation one time with respect to time. So let us differentiate the equation. So d by dt for this entire equation. Now this term is constant. So 1/2 I plus mr square is as this, and theta dot square differentiation of this is 2 theta dot, and again theta dot is differentiated, then we get angular acceleration theta double dot plus in this again this term is constant, so kt plus kr square. Now differentiation of theta square is 2 theta, and differentiation of theta then theta dot velocity, right? And this is to constant on the right side, so this equals to 0, right? Now if you look here, this 2 cancel out from both the equations. Now theta dot is common in both, so let us take common and shift on right side. So this will be also removed from the term. Then final equation is I plus mr square theta double dot plus kt plus kr square theta is equal to 0, right? Now to write this equation in simple harmonic motion form, what we need to do, will you please respond? अब हम क्या करेंगे? We got this equation. Now we want to write this in terms of simple harmonic motion equation. So what we need to do next? Janish, Karthik, what we need to do next now?
डिवाइड करूँ पड़ा ना सर एमथी.
हाँ, डिवाइड करना पड़ेगा. किससे डिवाइड करेंगे? If you recall, what is equation of simple harmonic motion? Let me write equation of simple harmonic motion is the x double dot plus omega n square x is equals to 0. Now we want to convert this above equation in this form. Then what we need to do? Theta double dot x double dot. The multiplier of this acceleration should be 1. हमें इस फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करना है. Then I need to divide by this entire bracket to this entire equation, right? So we need to divide by this multiplier of theta double dot to entire equation. So यहाँ पे इसी से divide करेंगे, then that becomes 1. So we got this term plus now this bracket is as it is, and this is divided by this bracket. This is what we are doing, and we have done so many times. So this equals to 0. Now if we compare, what we can say, this is nothing but representing omega n square. So now we can say omega n square is equals to kt plus kr square divided by I plus mr square, right? Now here, what is omega n? Omega n is equals to, now take square root, then this is what kt plus kr square divided by I plus mr square, right? So this is what we can say natural frequency equation. Now suppose I want to do more simplification, then this I is what? Mass moment of inertia of this rotor, mass moment of inertia of this rotor. Then mass moment of inertia for any circular geometry is 1/2 mass into radius square, right? So radius of this pinion is capital R, and let me call mass of this pinion is capital N, then equation of I is, let me write here, equation of I for pinion is 1/2, mass is capital M, and radius is R, so 1/2 mr square, right? So same I can write here. For more simplification of equation, then this I can say final equation kr square divided by 1/2 m. If you look in this equation, r is common, 1/2 m plus m, because here here r square and here also r square. So I can take r square common from both. So this is the mass of entire system, right? Right? So this is what the nature frequency for this combined system. Okay. Now, what this represents actually? It's actually simplification of entire system, because what we have done, we have converted this entire equation in terms of theta coordinate, right? It means that we are representing this entire system by one rotary system only. How? Let me show you. So what we have considered? We have considered only one disk. We have considered only one disk. So this is, we can say, our simplified system. So this is a pinion which we have considered. It's a fixed end. Then we have one coil spring, right? Now this we can say torsion system. So let us see here. What is kinetic energy of this entire system? We have considered kinetic energy of entire system as 1/2 inertial element into theta dot square. Means what we are considering, this entire disk is having inertia I plus mr square, right? Because total kinetic energy of entire system is written in angular coordinate system. So what we have done, we have simplified this entire spring mass system, by one circular disk whose inertia is this much, which is written here, right? Similarly, how much stiffness we have considered? So to understand that, let us see kinetic energy equation. If you look, this is the kinetic energy equation. So how much stiffness we have considered? We have considered this coil spring is having total stiffness Kt plus Kr square. If I give these two data to you, and then after if I ask you, if one circular disk is having this much of inertia and spring is having this much of stiffness, then as per kinetic energy, or as per simple circular disk and spring, what is nature frequency? Because we know nature frequency is nothing but square root K by M, right? Now K equivalent by M equivalent. If you see here, we have considered K equivalent for entire system is this much. So I can say it's a Kt plus Kr square as a K equivalent, and as M equivalent I write this I plus mr square omega n, right? So this is what ultimately we are doing. This system where we have two springs and two masses, but both system are having different coordinates. So we have converted that system into only theta coordinate, and theta coordinate is used for torsion systems. So we have only considered one torsion system with this much of equivalent mass and this much of equivalent stiffness. Is it clear to both of you?